Hey gorgeous souls, today we're going to talk about the big mistake, the major mistake I made that was keeping my savings small. So this is really interesting because I grew up watching my mum manifesting things, and at the point that I realized I was making this major mistake, I had manifested houses, I had manifested competition wins, I'd manifested money, I'd manifested a relationship, I'd manifested two babies. Did I say money and a car and a few problems being solved in my life, as well as experiences, and I'd also manifested negative experiences, which I'll get to in another video. So I've been doing this manifestation. I was doing manifestation the way that I had been taught by my mum, the way that I'd watched her manifest every competition, winning every competition that she entered, and always getting her desired car parking space, and always getting everywhere in the exact amount of time she said she would, which I don't know if it was manifestation or she just slowed down the car to make sure I don't know, she would say we're going to be there in 7 minutes and we'd be there in 7 minutes. Crazy. All the time. But anyway, I watched her manifest through the positive thinking and the acting as if, which works. Oh no, I've got water on myself. I had a drink between filming episodes. Sorry. It works. It works because I'd manifested a lot at that point. But it was I didn't have that deeper understanding of manifestation, which I now believe is so important. And it's why I have an academy. I don't like to call it an academy because it's not academic, but it's why I have an online portal where I teach people everything they need to know about manifestation to go to that deeper understanding, so that then they can know all those nuances of getting to that energetic state and make their manifestations happen with ease and speed, and on purpose. I don't know, I feel like I was manifesting things before. Oh, tried to fix my hair, but I made it worse. I was manifesting things before, but just having that deeper understanding means that I have a much deeper control. It's not just happening willy-nilly or mostly, or it's just more control. It's like mastery versus dabbling or being the apprentice, I suppose. So at this point, I'd manifested all those things, but I started studying manifestation, and I started studying money mindset. And money mindset was new to me. It was a new thing for me. And as soon as I started to learn that, I realized, oh my God, I'm sorry guys, you guys who are watching this on YouTube. I'm so distracted by my hair because I haven't had my shower yet. I wanted to jump straight on and make this imperfect so that I get it done, because I'm a recovering perfectionist. So yeah, gross. Anyway, gotta move on from that. As soon as I think I read my first book on money mindset or something, I don't know, I was diving right into it. I realized I was making this major mistake, because at that point I was manifesting money. I had manifested, I had a hobby business going, and I was manifesting more people through that, and I was doing these things to bring in more money and to bring more abundance to me. I was finding money on the ground. I even got the unexpected check in the mail, and I realized that with my savings, okay, let me go back to the start. When I was a teenager, I did odd jobs and I did entrepreneurial jobs, and I saved a certain amount in my bank account and said, I'm always going to have this amount. I'm never going to have less than this amount. And by the time I'm speaking of that, I recognize this mistake, it was a little bit more than that. But I was still making that same mistake. And some of you would have just heard it. I said, I'm never going to have less than this amount. And I was focusing so hard on manifesting that amount in the bank that is the amount that I manifested in the bank. Always that amount. Whenever that amount got above, when it got above that amount, something unexpected would happen. Like crazy, like why did that just happen? Problems were manifesting into my life and they would bump me back down to that amount. And I wasn't noticing that until I realized what I'd been doing. Until I realized, hang on, I've set an intention to manifest that exact amount in the bank. And I reflected and I thought, hang on, every time a problem happens, it puts me to that amount. I've never sustainably gone above that amount. And here's the other thing. Anytime it went below that amount, that's when that unexpected check came in the mail. That's when unexpected positive things would happen that bumped me back up to that amount. And the only way I can explain it with a metaphor, not the only way I can think of right now, because I'm sure there's 1,000 other ways, but it's the way Abraham Hicks talks about the cork. If you push a cork beneath the surface and let go, it'll bob back up. And that's what it was like. That surface is what Amanda Frances calls the energetic set point. That level of abundance, of what I was saying, this is the amount that I have. And anytime something happened, anytime I spent into that money and pushed that cork down, it floated back up to that amount. But we could take this metaphor further and say anytime I increased it, it was like the cork was just floating up in the sky and gravity pulled it back down, because that was my energetic set point. That was the major mistake I'm making. And I see so many people make this mistake as well, because their energetic set point, they will always be at their energetic set point. Some people have energetic set points of never having enough, or only living paycheck to paycheck, or never having any savings, or being in debt, but being a certain amount in debt. Like they never go more than that in debt, but they always have this much debt. Everyone has these different set points, and it is uncanny how much you will remain at that set point. Some people, you'll watch people win the lottery and then they go back to their energetic set point. Or people who are used to living paycheck to paycheck might have an amazing windfall, but then they are uncomfortable with having money in the bank. And so they return to that energetic set point, to what they're used to what's comfortable for them. And guess what? When I recognize my energetic set point, that's where all the power is. When you have awareness and understanding, and then can change. So I realized, okay, I'm going to stop manifesting that amount. And that didn't mean that I'm going to let go of that amount. It didn't mean I'm just going to have $0 in my account. I let go of the attachment to having that number and only that number and never less than that number, because that was the focus, is, I don't want to ever have less than this. I switched it and I said, okay, I have this amount. I always have this amount or something better. I always have this amount and growing. And I wrote down in my bullet journal at the time, have you ever seen like when people are fundraising and they have that big like thermometer and there's different levels and they color in when they get the savings or the donations or whatever to different amounts? I made one of those. I don't think I made it a thermometer. Maybe I did the first time, but I just made like a grid. Sometimes now I'll do a flower or something and there's just levels that I color in. And I said, okay, I'm going to take this amount and I'm going to put these scales up. And every time I reach an amount, my intention is going to be for that next amount. And you can put it in whatever increments you want if you're going to do this. I encourage you to do this because you watch your savings, but you watch your abundance really, isn't it? You watch it grow and you're constantly setting new intention, new intention, new intention, new intention, and stepping into that intention for growth. So you could do it in increments of $5 if you need to do that to make it be believable. Or it could be $50 or $100 or $500 or $1,000, or, maybe your income level is high and maybe you run a successful business, or maybe you do something where it's just believable to you. Even if you don't do those things, if it's believable to you, you could do it in $10,000 increments or something. I don't know. Whatever is believable. I think mine at the moment, I think I put it down to $100 at the moment because I just wanted to colour in lots. And it's not a flower at the moment, it's just squares. It's just squares. But anyway, so you might need a big page, or you might do it in a journal. I kind of do like just columns next to each other and then add a new page when I need to. But that gets you into that intention for the growth. And then what I do is I put that clause on the end that I always had this or something better. And another thing that I do is I work with my energetic set point. So even though it's $100 increments, I bump my energetic set point up, and you can do it whatever amount you feel comfortable with, but I bump it up more than that. I bump it up energetically, get into the feeling of a higher number, and I say that all those little increments, whatever your increments might be, are the cork beneath the surface, and it's just going to boop, float back up, even though it's never been there before. So like I had initially, like I realized that I was doing this and that cork was bobbing back up, and any problems were manifesting when I got above it. That was my energetic set point. And you can create an energetic set point before ever being there physically. Energy is such a nuanced thing. And when I read this first in Amanda Francis's book, that's not when I first did it, but it was the first time I heard it called energetic set points. And the first time I realized, hang on, I should be doing this all the time, because I'd surpassed an energetic set point and then forgot to set the next one because because sometimes you forget the tools. Sometimes you forget and you don't realize the way you are approaching something. I think it was in a different video I just filmed, different episode, that I mentioned that I was at a certain point and I wanted to be at the next level. I wanted to round off that number, but I was so attached to the thoughts and the feelings around the number that I was at, and thinking, oh, I've been here for such a long time, and I'm really struggling to get to that next level, and why hasn't it happened? And just all this resistance and this messy feelings about that next level without actually setting a proper intention. It was like a vague want. So to change my energetic set point, I set an intention that actually, it's like a, what's it called? It's like setting a rule for your life, or what you're energetically available for. And I said to the universe, I suppose, and to myself, actually, this is what I'm energetically available for. This level that I'm at, I let go of that feeling of attachment, and started to see it more as it's just an illusion. Like life is just an illusion. And when we release the attachment to it, we can step into that quantum world where more possibilities are available to us. And so now that I was less attached to that number and feeling more into the energetic set point that I wanted to be in, wanted to have, I set that intention, I set that decision, I set that rule for my life that actually this is my level. It didn't matter that I hadn't been there before, because I got into the feeling that I was already there. And you can do this by visualizing the numbers in your bank account. You can visualize the things that would change in your life. You can visualize the way, or get into that energetic state of how you would feel different, how you would carry yourself different. Do all the tricks to get to that state of acting as if you have that next level. So wherever you are in your journey in abundance, I would encourage you, this is what I was about to say, but I would encourage you to watch my other video. What's it called? I don't know what it's called yet, but something about how flowing is your money river and how big is your money container. I think that's what I'll call it. I've just filmed that video. That's a really great one to expand your abundance. So watch that one if you want to as well. But wherever you are with your container for abundance, with your savings amount, with the flow of abundance to you, try this trick and check if you're making this mistake, because this changed my life. I haven't even got to the conclusion of my story. I forgot to tell you guys. Once I started doing this, it was incredible. My savings started to just increase. It was like I had just opened up the floodgates, I guess they say. I just opened up the flow, because before I was just saying, no, universe, I don't want anything more. I don't want anything more than this amount. You know, I was saying I didn't want anything less, but I was also saying I don't want anything more. I want this amount and this amount only, so don't give me any more. So I opened that up and I said, okay, flow to me. Let's see this growth. Let's color in these squares on my little grid. Let's say this or something better all the time. Let's say I have this amount in my bank and it's always growing. And it did. It very quickly multiplied by 3. And I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is amazing. And then over the course of a little while, hang on, stay off the camera. I just need 2 minutes, okay, love? Sorry, guys, kids in the room. I saw it 10 times. It multiplied by 10, and I didn't change anything. I didn't change anything but my money mindset. I was a full-time mum with a little hobby business on the side. And it's like money just started to flow to me. I would find money on the ground. I started getting more unexpected, not checks in the mail, but just unexpected money would come to me. I was manifesting items into my life that I wanted to have, so then I didn't have to spend the money I had, but I could save more. It was just everywhere. This money, absolutely, the only word I can say is that it flowed to me. It was flowing. And when I did it recently with this energetic set point, it was insane. I had been struggling at that point, that I was like, I'm struggling. I can't save at the moment because things are happening. There's no money going into there. I'm stuck at this amount. And whenever I go above it, it gets back down. Like I was back to my old mistake, and with a vengeance, because it wasn't just, I want to manifest this amount, I don't want anything less. It was actively, it doesn't get above this. Anytime it gets above this, it goes back down. Like that's what happened all those years ago. It was like 5 years ago. And I had overcome that. I'd shifted. So I shifted recently. It's a little while ago. It's when I read Amanda Frances's book about energetic set points. And I was like, oh, that's what I was doing. That's the word for it. I should do that again. I need to implement this again, because I'd done it at certain increments, but then I'd reached like the cap of the intention I'd set back then, and I forgot to set the next intention. When I did when I started feeling into this next level and was like, okay, this is my energetic set point. It's the cork beneath this, where the amount that I see in my bank account is an illusion. It's a cork beneath the surface. I would look at it and say, no, that's odd. That's odd. Oh, off the camera. That's odd. I should have this amount. And I think Amanda talks about in her book that if you get so into the believing and the feeling, then when you don't have it, you go, oh, that's really weird. It must be coming. Something must be up, because that's not what I'm energetically available for. That's not the intention I've set. I know that the universe is going to bring what I want. So I got into that feeling, and I started really feeling this was my new energetic set point. This is the amount I have in the bank. It's just that the reality has to catch up. And this is what we talk about sometimes when we talk about changing things in the quantum world and manifesting things, setting intentions. Sometimes the reality just needs a minute to catch up, because your current reality is a culmination of all your past energies, expectations, thoughts and intentions. So it just takes a minute to shift. Sometimes it's instant and it's really cool. But it took like maybe a week, and I reached that new energetic set point in the physical reality. And then like a few weeks later, it bumped right up to a next energetic set point. which was like 3 times higher than that little initial energetic set point, that little bump that I had been struggling with. And all I changed was that intention, was that energetic set point. And I stopped making that major mistake of looking at your bank account or any current circumstance in your life and thinking, okay, this is how things are. Because that's when we re-manifest. I'll talk about re-manifesting in another video, but that's when we re-manifest the same reality over again. And then we say, hang on, I want this other reality, but it's like a vague, oh, I'd kind of like something different, but I believe this is my now. We have to let go of that. We have to let go of that. I've done it before. I've re-manifested a reality I didn't want to be in. I re-manifested my crappy 2-bedroom house over and over again because I had that attachment to that. So let go of the attachment, whether it be your bank account or whether it be your physical circumstances, anything in your life. It could be your car you want to upgrade, or I don't know, your shoes. Let go of how things currently are. Loosen your grip on reality a little bit. Don't go full loopy, but just loosen your grip and spend more time daydreaming. That's what my mum called it when I was growing up. She was like, oh, I'm just going to go do some dreaming. And she would sit and visualize and step into the feeling of having that next level. Spend more time just dreaming about it. Daydream. Daydreaming is so underrated. We get told in school it's bad and we shouldn't do it. But I encourage you to do it. Even as you're like, the way I got out of, or one way that I got out of that being stuck in that little house was that I would walk around that house and I would change the look of everything. I'd turn on the tap and I'd shut my eyes and go, okay, I'm turning on the tap in my dream home and this is what the sink looks like. And I'm looking out the window at the view and this is what the view looks like. That house had an amazing view anyway. But, you know, you just can, like, I guess it's kind of like, it's like you're painting over reality, but like with this energetic, I don't know. I don't want to relate it to like it's kind of, okay, it's like augmented reality, right? You're looking through this different lens over your other lens, over your current reality. Like you can see how things currently are a bit, but you're superimposing how you want things to be over the top. And you can do that with your bank account as well. Like go into your bank account and just kind of squint at the number and be like, okay, this is what it actually looks like. Or you can do a hack with, use like Paint is what it's called on Windows. I don't know what you guys call it on Apple, but just take a screenshot of your bank and then edit the number, and it doesn't look super real depending on how you do it, and then set that as your background of your computer or whatever, or just save it as a photo on your phone and just pretend that you're going to check your bank account and go, oh yeah, I have that amount in my account, and get into that feeling, and you're seeing it as well. So you're plugging in the visual as well, and stepping even more so into that quantum reality, because when you have that amount, you're going to be looking at that visual. So you're really embodying the feeling. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope that you have had some aha moments or some takeaways, because this is like not necessarily my number one tip, but it is something that I am so passionate about because I see so many people making this mistake, and it's so easy to fix. So give it a go. Give it a go and let me know. I would love to hear from you how this works for you and what you open up in your life. I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.